Buenos dias, Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Here's another one. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I said what? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a motherfucking smack addict. Bye-up, bye-up, bye-ya-ya-ya-ya. Lean like a cholo, homie. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Guard! I said lean like a cholo, puto. Straight up. And then Menudo style in a direct fashion, as you see by that thumbnail, gente, we're about to get it on. For the raza. For the people, by the people. Let's keep it old school, right? That's how we do it. 6'5", super sports y todo. Oh my, right? Arre, way. Let's keep it cracking. Now, you see the thumbnail and it says Los Angeles, right? Los, homie. We're talking about LA today. The city of no pity, the city of angels. You know, it wouldn't be LA without Mexicans, black love, brown pride, and the sets again. Tupac said it best, man, but I'm going to say it like I filled it up with Unleaded, right? Here's some knowledge you can't get in college. The city of Los Angeles is changing, man. It's been changing, and it's not the city per se, but more so the gente, the raza, the Africano brothers, the Woods brothers. Woods in L.A.? We're San Fernando, like that area, going towards L.A. Now, trip out. When I think about L.A., Holmes, brings a smile to my face. I met a lot of good gente from Los, from Compton, from South L.A., Northeast, you know what I mean, Sela, the harbor area. I've met Vatos from everywhere. I got familia from Los. Parents came from Los, or at least mother did, right? So I got a lot of interaction, a lot of history with the city of LA. And I think most Norteños do. Most Vatos from up north, Northern California, you know, needless to say, most of them aren't going to say it. They ain't going to say it. Hell no, we won't go, right? But Vatos like to wiggle down that grapevine. They got familia. We're all related, homes. We're all raza. We're all brown. You know, the frijoles hit the same way. The hard way, not the long way, right? So, when it comes to the city of LA, I'm noticing change. And I need some input and some feedback, you know, with the gente. You know, I'm noticing because of the change of generation, it's a new era and a new age. Now, I know times change everything. You know, back in the 70s, 80s, that's when everything was being established. Gangs had always been around in the city of LA. LA is known for its gang membership. It is known for being one of the hardest cities in the world. It is known for really, really holding people accountable for their actions. It's just a known place, you know, on earth. Quietly as it's kept, quick story, man. I went to North Carolina. I was wiggling on the run for murder and get to juvenile hall. You know, I was a young kid. And the first thing I told them I was from California. And they said, you know, Dr. Dre, you're from LA? I said, I'm not from LA, but I know Dr. Dre. I was bullshitting like a motherfucker, right? But in real life, you know, the city of LA perceives itself. It's always had a reputation of respect, of viciousness, of tenacity, of treacherousness. There's a lot of bodies and a lot of blood that's been spilt in the city of Los, in the city of LA. But there's also a lot of raza history, cultura, a lot of low riding, just a lot of things that encompasses brown pride, period, that I care for, that I love, you know, my people, my gente. You know, LA's moved differently than other cities. You know, I'm from bigger cities like San Jose, you know, Oakland, San Francisco, you know, Monterey, things of that nature. These are the cities that I frequent. These are the towns that I've lived near or live near. Now, when it comes to Los Angeles, I've never lived there, homie. You know, other than being in the Youth Authority in Whittier, in Southeast LA. Yeah, I wiggled there for a little bit of a second, like 3 years. But in fact, that's where I gained most of my respect and love for the city of LA by the way that the Southerners, the Southsiders presented themselves with professionalism and class, homes. They kept it real righteous. They didn't take shit personal. They got off where they were mad at because not that they were told to be mad, but because they knew it was the right thing to do in their careers. And you can't get mad at motherfuckers for that. You can't hate on a person for doing what they does for something they truly believe in, because I was wiggling for mine and they were wiggling for theirs. The wiggles were all over the place. We had the wiggles going, right? Now, I've noticed it's changing. Okay? Everyone's always said that the Norteños up north, the farmers from the north, right? Were what they used to say, acted black, and we had flavor and we had swag. We were just different. And we used the N word, and you know, I've never used that word. It's not my word that I frequently use or that I use whatsoever. But it's what was put on our plates, what people thought automatically assumed just because we function on the same side of the yard, or we shook visas, or we, you know what I mean, we did mean mugs and shoulder shrugs together. But at the end of the day, it's all about just having swag, homes, as a person. It's not about trying to be like someone else. You got to understand, when you come from an urban populated area, man, you're going to adapt to your surroundings, and cultures are going to mix. And I think it's a beautiful thing for cultures to mix. I don't think it's a beautiful thing for my lady to be mixing with the neighbor, the brother. But it's a good thing for the cultures to mix. I can't stop thinking about that now. Hey, but trip out in the menudo style, right? LA's changing. LA's changing. I'm starting to notice that a lot of the guys that are from the Sur, right? The South, Southerners, are changing. I no longer can tell the difference. I no longer see a norteño and a sureño and be like, okay, Mongolian, check. Okay, size 55s, check. Okay, fucking Nike Cortezes, but with colorful laces, check. Okay, Nike Cortezes, the old school white ones, check, right? I can't tell the difference between the two like I used to be able to. See, there was identifying ways and marks and tacas and just ways that we carried ourselves that was different. Not that it was such a good thing. I always thought we were the same, just in different clothing. There was more than meets the eye, and wasn't no one transforming like the bumblebee. But what was really going on was there was just two different estilos, two different flavors, two different points of view, and two different mindsets. Okay, but all one ethnicity, all one culture, brown, period. That's how we rock. We had love for the brown people. They had love for the brown people because we loved what we were and they love what they are. Now, it's getting different in LA, homes. Okay, where back in the days, it was more barrio on barrio warfare. The old school raza, the old school veteranos kicking it on a black link, con pisteando. Yo quiero una pinche dimo. Right? They were getting their issue. They were getting their sas on. It's not like that no more. I mean, it is in some barrios and some areas, but for the most part, man, this new wave, this new era is taking over, man. And people got to adapt. You have to learn. I did. When I first came out with Gunners Collective, everyone was mad at me. The Vatos are still mad at me, but they were mad at me even more because they felt like I was applying pressure to the youngsters because I was talking about painted fingernails and toenails and the way that motherfuckers wore pants so tight, I choked, right? It was just bad. But I wasn't talking about one particular group. I was talking about the era that we live in. And then they transitioned from tight ass fucking wearing moccasins and tight pants to wearing Crocs and fucking alligator shirts. And then they transitioned from that to having the Pontius Pilate haircut, and now we call them the Edgars. I mean, they're changing every day, and that's because people are influenced by social media and what they see and what they perceive as hip hop. This hip hop generation is what I call them. It's the hip hop generation, homie. I come from old school tattoos that meant something, like the Virgen right here. You got to keep the Lord's bomb on the head and the head on the mom's, right? Bang, bang. That's what you got to do, right? I come from that area of sleeves that meant something. There was reasoning behind them. You had to earn your tacas. I didn't get an ice cream cone with a lightning bolt go through it. And when the homie said, what do they call you? I said, Flash. That's not here. That wasn't here, nor there. But that's how it is going nowadays. And I'm not saying these youngsters won't wiggle. And I'm not saying that they're not about that action because, man, these guys are crazy. But at the same time, I believe social media, TikTok, Instagram, even YouTube, man, is influencing them to get away from what means something and what is relevant, and that's our culture. See, we're losing a grip on our people, and I'm noticing it coming out of LA. I always knew LA would be the last city to lose it. I always knew that they stood firm in their views and 10 toes down for what they believed in. The Chicanismo and the Chicanoism down there is very strong and thick, Holmes. That's where it comes from. That's where the seeds are planted. Places like that, Little Village in Chicago, different places. You got Detroit wiggling. And of course, you got New York City. The boroughs and the things that they're doing. You stick with your own gente. You love your people. You can intermingle and have love for others, but always have love for what you come from. Never forget where you came from. Food stamps and top ramens. That's it on mines and the can of pork. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? Cheese that never melted. Worth shit. And going to the store with notes from my mom to get a pack of Marlboro Lights. It was all bad. It was all hood. It was all real. Now, some of you guys can identify, some can't. So they never had to worry about that. They were too busy on their iPhone, you know what I mean? Looking at fucking BBLs. Go figure, right? They like that fake shit. My lady's all real. Bang, bang. You know what I mean? Maintain. Now, the city of LA, I've always looked at it with class. They always had class the way they moved. And I'm not here to speak on LA as far as disrespecting them and saying they're not like that still, because they are. There's a lot of gente that still carry the old school core values. A lot of the things that they learn from the streets, the Southerners, is taken from our ethnicity, our culture, the love of our people, and instilled behind them walls. You know, the Southerners were always Mexicano flags and always Mexican, 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 whereas Norteños were more Chicano. You know, we held that Chicano flag. We did have love for the raza and continue to at that point, right? But at the same time, it was just two different styles. They were more into Mexican, where we were into Chicano, Mexican American. Hey, man, go figure. But that's not what I'm talking about today. What I'm talking about is how vatos are changing. You got vatos like Swifty Blue, who I'm going to be doing a spill on tomorrow because I got some news on him. But vatos like that give a bad name or shed a bad light on our people. You know, they start to look at our people as clowns. I know some people think that I shed a bad light on our people because of some of my outlandish ways and my tactics on which I spit my my spills, right? But it's just comedy, homie. See, Mexicanos have always had our roots deep in comedy. You know, we've always capped a little bit and clowned a little bit. You know about all the homeboys kicking back in the garage drinking Pisto. Some of them smoking the bubbler, 10 to 2 up in the corner. You know what it is while all the hyenas are dancing together, because if one of them tries to dance with another vato, we're going to break their whole shit. Their mascara is gone. You just know what the deal is. Those that know. So what I'm seeing in the city of LA, Holmes, is, you know, these Southerners that have their roots from there and have always showed professionalism in the way that they move and their smarts, their rhythm, Holmes. You know, the ones out of LA, it's getting different now. Now, you know, it's so hip hop. This new generation is so different. They're not respecting the old views and the old values. Now, I understand that a lot of people are disenfranchised with maybe their old gang, especially when it comes to people that are no longer in great standings or dropped out or got pushed out. They're disenfranchised. They always got something bad to say about their old organization or where they come from. And all of a sudden now, the group is using them, or now, you know, the group is feeling some type of way about them. But hey, if you fucked up, Holmes, then you fucked up. They didn't. You did. You knew what you signed up for. I know what I signed up for. I'm not here to sit here and wiggle and tell you that's a bad organization. They're bad and they use and they utilize. You know what I mean? Hey, it is what it is, Holmes. You know what I mean? If you sign up for that shit, then you play that fucking card right, Joker. And that's just what it is, man. You know what I mean? Or you got to ace up your sleeve, or a jack and make it crack, or a queen and get in between, or a king, if you know what I mean. And that's just how it is, you know, or a 9, because I does this all the time, or a 8, because the gun is great, or a 7. Can I get an 11? She can. Bang, bang. That's what it is. Now, don't make me start rapping. LA, I've always respected, right? And the difference is now is I can't tell, you know, if these kids really respect where they come from, or if they respect the old ways, because a lot of the old traditions and the old ways and the things that were instilled in myself and instilled in vatos from the South, I could see are going by the wayside. There's no longer that level of respect. Everyone wants to be a cloud chaser. Everybody wants to be that man instead of respecting the men who have earned it or achieved that status based on the fucking work they put in and the level of smarts and fucking articulation that they have, right? Everyone can't be a fucking chief, Holmes. Some of you got to be indios. Pensa la tira. You know, hi-ho silver, tanto, it's just what it is. Shout out to my native panas. It's just got to be like that. You know, I understood that. I had a grasp on reality that I was never going to be that one, Holmes. But at the end of the day, I knew I was going to respect those who were. And that's it. And I continue to, because that's the way it is. See, that's the Mexicano style. We always got someone to look up to, Holmes. You always need a big homie to lace you up, to lace your boots up. But see, our generation, mine, we fucked up. You know you fucked up, right? Yeah, we fucked up. You know you did it, gun. Yeah, we did it, right? What we did is we were too busy worried about ourselves and our old ladies and the fucking pipe and everything else, Holmes, instead of instilling good canalismo and good education into the youngsters. And look what happened now. Now they're wearing SpongeBob backpacks and pantyhose backwards. Now they're all looking like fucking De La Hoya in a Russian fucking brothel. It's all bad, right? It's all bad, Holmes. And I'm not here to disrespect these kids and say they won't get on your headpiece one time, because they will. But at the same time, I'm not talking about the ones that are really out there gangbanging in the streets, just their pants are a little too tighter than I would expect, right? I'm talking about the ones that are all on social media with all these funny ass tattoos on their face, crying, bro, and showing off all this fake money that they ordered on Amazon Prime. That's what I'm talking about, right? And I never thought I'd see it in the city of LA, and I'm starting to see it more and more, and it's tripping me out. You know, I come from an old school era. I come from an era where I expected vatos from Los to act a certain way, and they conduct themselves a certain way. And for the most part, any interactions that I've had with vatos from there, they still continue to do that because they know what it is and they know what's up. But these kids nowadays, gente, pensan la tira, it's going to take us to pave the way, man. Hey, it's never too late. So I get pull your pinche pants up, ese. I remember back in the vatos back in my days, warm here. You vatos weren't there. It's fucking crazy. But it's a new era and a new attitude. You know, and the thing that irks me the most about this situation is not that they're losing touch with their culture, or not that they fucking want to go bone a white girl on the fucking TikTok show, and not that they want to be on Instagram and look at BBLs all day. I don't care about all that. The wind blows sometimes. What I'm more concerned about is the disrespect. The disrespecting of the older gente, of the vatos that come before them. Man, look at them vatos. Them vatos are funny. What kind of shoes are those? Bubble shoes? Nah, fucking big red boot wearing motherfucker. They're not. They're Cortezes. That's it. Get you some. Step your game up one time. Lame up. And that's just it. Before you're not feed me raza no more. That's just how it be. The city of LA has caught up to this new trend, homes. And this new trend is these disrespectful youngsters that don't give a fuck anymore. You know, I look at a lot of people's lives and a lot of, you know, TikTok and the shit that people are talking about. And they're like, you know, all you OGs are just tecatos. You guys don't know what's up, homes. We're getting money out here. We're doing this and that. And I ain't mad. Get your money. Get your paper, homes. Don't order it off of fucking eBay. Get the real shit, right? Go out there and really get it, homes. But get it like a man. Okay? Don't go out there and buy it. Don't go out there and fucking make fools of yourself all night on live to get it. I've been there, done that, home. And I'm going to tell you right now, you don't see me doing that no more, right? It's really not. It's rather unbecoming, man. It's cool to have fun. It's cool to be cool in your skin and have a good time. But at the same time, man, remember there's others that you're reflecting upon. Now, I'm not saying one person speaks for all of us, and I'm not saying one person as a brown man is a reflection of all of us. But man, this show does look funny when Abato's there with tight pants and a tattoo that says something that it shouldn't under his eye, right? And he's over there fucking dancing for peanuts like a motherfucking clown. Sasuke, if you're going to dance, homie, wiggle like I wiggle. Right there. You know what I mean? Just get your wigglization on. You don't have to be over there fucking doing the kid and play and you don't even know who they are. Say that 3 times fast. That's it. Now, this new era and attitude in LA and every other city, man, is unbecoming. It's something that I don't care for and others might. I understand time equals change and change equals time, right? And so things are going to change. It's not always going to be the same way. And they're going to call me an old head and I'm stuck in the 90s in the past. And I'm not saying that, gente. Little youngsters, peep this out. Here's some knowledge you can't get in college. Trip out on this one time. What I'm saying, gente, is as brown people, man, especially the traditional brown people from LA, man, that have always carried themselves a certain way. You know, think about what your jefito would do. Think about what your tios would do. Think about what the big homies would do, right? Before you get on fucking begging for fucking cupcakes, man, on Instagram. I'm just saying, right? Carry yourself with class and dignity. That's what brown people do, man. That's always been our thing. We get straight to the point and the point gets straight to it. And that's it. You know, you could be a little hyphy. You can have a little attitude. You can have a little swag. It doesn't mean you're trying to act black. Like people put on the Northerners plato saying they were trying to act black. Northerners, they never tried to act black. Northerners acted like Northerners, homes. It's 2 different sides, homie, but the same coin. You just got to understand that. Anyways, with that being said, man, I'm noticing this trend in LA. Now, as far as the gang things go, I don't know too much about that, man. Who's the enemy of this guy and that guy's the enemy of that guy? You know, where I come from, when I did time in YA and Nellis, man, with a whole bunch of vatos from Los, them vatos were getting off like back to back to back to back on each other, though. I didn't have too many interactions as far as fights with guys from LA. Most of my shit was with the 805 area because the 805 area, they hit different. Them vatos from Santa Ruta, them vatos from Baker Hill, them vatos from Santa Maria, them vatos from Oxnard Ventura, and vatos were holy shit, Lampa, right? They were different. They were different. The 805 they wiggled, homes. Those were our mortal enemies. That's it. Them and SGV. And SGV put in too much work that I can't even explain it. I'm going to do several videos about the SGV. They're crazy, right? But when it comes to LA, man, I always looked at them like, okay, look at you out there from LA, eh? You know what I mean? I didn't want to be from LA. I'm happy with where I'm from, homes. I love my city, love my town. But I respected them. I continue to respect them. I just think that the youngsters coming out of there that don't know no better are not respecting their own town. And with that being said, gente, you know, let's come together as a raza, man. It's time to fucking put our foot down and put a little foot in these youngsters' asses and tell them, man, get your shit together, homie. Making us look bad. With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. Get everything that you want coming to you, and I'm just dropping game because the game got to get dropped. It's raining game in Northern California, and I'm going to give a little bit to Southern California. There you go. Oh, you guys got your own? Bam. Orale. Let's go. Let's wiggle, right? You already know what it is. Thumbs up or thumbs down. See, heavy is the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive to struggle and struggle and strive, homie, for what I honestly and truly believe in, and that's the raza way. Orale. The Africano brothers in the woods. Well, brother, can we have some crank? Got you. You got 60? Bang, bang. This is the gun.